Do you ever find yourself running through a conversation in your head because you realized someone you trusted isn't who they said they were? You replay the moments where they let you down or the subtle ways they undermined you because you think if you just find the right way to address it, everything will finally be okay. But it never is. Stop trying to find loyalty in people who are committed to their own convenience. You are exhausting yourself by trying to maintain a bond that only exists in your memory while the reality sitting in front of you is a stranger. Most people spend their lives as emotional puppets pulled by the strings of fake friends because they are terrified of the silence that comes with being alone. But your peace is not a fragile thing that should be at the mercy of someone else's hidden agenda. There is a psychological trap in thinking that history equals loyalty. You feel an itch to stay because you've invested years into someone, but you are ignoring the factual reality that they are currently using your kindness as a weapon against you. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth, and he was surrounded by people who smiled to his face while plotting behind his back. He didn't respond with rage or a desperate need to fix them. He realized that the first thing you have to understand about fake friends is the mask of forced honesty. Marcus wrote that there is nothing more disgraceful than a wolfish friendship. He noticed that the people who constantly claim they are being honest with you are usually the ones hiding the most. They use the word truth as a shield to deliver poison. When someone tells you they are just being real, it is often a cover for their own insecurity. You need to realize that true honesty doesn't need to be announced. It is lived. This leads to the second realization that most people ignore until it is too late. You cannot find a good friend in a bad person. Marcus understood that character is the only currency that matters. If a person is dishonest with their partner or cruel to their subordinates or deceptive in their business, they will eventually be the same with you. You are not the exception to their character. You are just next on the list. We often suffer because we tell ourselves a story that our friendship is special enough to change someone's fundamental nature. But you are suffering in your imagination far more than in reality. The reality is that their behavior is a map of their own limitations, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your worth. The moment you stop expecting a snake not to bite is the moment you stop being surprised when it does. The third thing you have to accept is that most betrayal is actually a projection of self-hate. Marcus Aurelius looked at the people who envied him and realized that their surliness and their jealousy were just symptoms of their own internal noise. When a friend tries to dim your light, it is because they are sitting in the dark and they can't handle the reflection of their own stagnancy. You waste incredible amounts of energy trying to figure out why they are acting this way. You think if you can just solve the puzzle of their behavior, you can fix the relationship. But you are trying to solve a problem that isn't yours to hold. Their confusion is their burden to carry. If you act with integrity and they respond with malice, then your job is finished. You are responsible for your actions, but you are never responsible for their interpretation of them. This brings us to the fourth shift in perspective. You must learn the art of being social but detached. Marcus didn't suggest that we all become hermits and hide from the world. He taught that we should work with people, even the difficult ones, because that is our nature. But he insisted that we keep our inner citadel guarded. You can be kind to someone without giving them the keys to your emotional house. You can be polite without being vulnerable. The mistake most of us make is thinking that every friend deserves a front row seat to our soul. They don't. Real strength is having the discernment to know who belongs in the inner circle and who is just a guest in the lobby of your life. When you stop handing out your trust like it has no value, people will stop treating it that way. Finally, the fifth and most powerful truth is that you do not need their validation to be a person of value. The desperate need to be understood by a fake friend is just a hunger for a permission slip to be happy. You think that if they finally acknowledge your loyalty, then you can finally feel at peace. But that is a lie you are telling yourself to avoid the discomfort of standing on your own. Real freedom is being unshaken by the noise of those who don't matter. It is knowing that the world can throw whatever fake smiles and hidden daggers it wants at you, but it cannot change the truth of who you are unless you let it. You are the only person who has to live with your conscience for the rest of your life, so make sure that is the only person you are trying to impress. You are currently the author of your own response. You can continue to let these people pull your strings, or you can cut them and see how much higher you can fly. The moment you stop caring if they get it is the moment you finally become free. You have an incredible amount of strength inside you, and it grows every time you choose your own peace over someone else's manipulation. You are no longer a puppet. You are the one holding the strings. If this conversation gave you the clarity to see the people in your life for who they actually are, then you are ready to move forward with a different kind of power. This is about a commitment to your own mental independence and a refusal to let your calm be dictated by the moods of others. If you want to stay grounded in this truth and keep building a life that is led from within, then join us on this path. Choosing to stay connected here is a signal to yourself that you are done living in the shadows of other people's expectations. You are stronger than their betrayal, and you have everything you need to lead yourself from within.